Today, we're diving into a skill that is absolutely fundamental for any coach or leader. I'm talking about the 3 levels of listening. Honestly, getting this right can completely transform the impact you have in your coaching sessions. In our crazy multitasking world, it is so easy to fall into that trap of just listening to reply. We get so focused on what powerful question we're going to ask next that we completely miss what our client is saying right now. Because here's the thing, not all listening is created equal, and using the wrong level, especially when you're in a coaching conversation, can be the difference between a major breakthrough and a total breakdown. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to break down each of these levels, and this is the most important part, we're going to talk about how you can actually put this into practice to really elevate your coaching. So to really get our heads around this, we're going to use this fantastic framework from the Coactive Training Institute. They break listening down into 3 really clear, distinct levels. The best way to think about it is like a journey. We start out with a focus on me, right? Then we shift to a really deep focus on you, the other person. And finally, we expand our awareness to us and everything else that's happening in the space between. Okay, so let's start with level 1. This is the most common one, kind of our default setting, the one we all fall into without even realizing it. It's all about that little voice inside your own head. You totally know this feeling, right? Your client is talking and your brain is going, oh, that exact thing happened to me, or okay, I know what they need to do. You're already cooking up your response before they've even finished their sentence. And this really shows you the pitfalls, the red flags. We jump in, we try to solve the problem for them, especially if we're distracted. And for a coach, this level is where all the misunderstandings are born. Now, to be fair, level 1 isn't always the enemy. It can be great for a fast-paced brainstorm or making a quick decision. But for building trust and getting that deep understanding you need in a coaching session, it's a total non-starter. So let's level up. Let's move on to level 2. This is where the real magic of coaching starts to happen. This is where we create that true empathetic connection. Here, it's like the spotlight swings completely away from you and shines 100% on them. You are listening only to understand their world, their perspective. Your own stories, they're totally irrelevant here. This, right here, is the foundation of what we call active listening. It's how you build trust, how you show up with real presence, and how you create that safe space for your client to really open up and go deep. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The International Coach Federation itself defines this as a core competency. It's all about that complete focus. It's not about your agenda. It's about helping them find theirs. And now we get to the highest level. This is what separates a good coach from a truly great one. It's almost like developing a coaching superpower. This is way beyond just words. You are literally perceiving the entire atmosphere of the conversation, the energy in the room, the unspoken feelings, the little shifts in the air between you and your client. A global listener picks up on all these tiny but critical details. That little pause before they answer a question, the way their posture changes when a tough subject comes up. That is often where the most important information is hiding. Exactly. You're not just hearing the lyrics of the conversation anymore. You're hearing the music. And that music, it tells a much, much richer story. Okay, so reading about this stuff is one thing, but how do we actually get better at it? How do we turn this from a cool idea into a skill we can actually use every day? Well, let's look at this super relatable story. The author of our source material was busy making dinner, half listening, while her son was trying to have a really serious talk with her. And then her son, who she had taught these levels to, just calls her on it. Can you imagine? It was this powerful, unforgettable moment that just proves how much this really matters to the person who's trying to speak. That story just hits it home, doesn't it? Becoming a great listener is not automatic. It takes real, intentional practice and exercises to quiet down that noisy level 1 voice that's always chattering in our heads. So here is a simple but incredibly powerful grounding technique you can try. Before a session, you basically park your distractions. By actually writing them down on a sticky note, you give your brain permission to let them go for a little while. You're promising you'll come back to them later. This clears the runway, mentally, so you can be fully present and ready for that deep level 3 listening. So let's wrap this up. Remember, these levels are more than just a theory. They're a tool. And your ability to consciously shift into level 2 and level 3 is the single most powerful instrument you have for creating real transformation in your coaching. So as you go about your day, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. Who in your life, whether it's a client, a colleague, or maybe someone at home, who could benefit the most if you brought your highest level of attention and presence to your next conversation with them?